Hey, what's going on, guys? 81 Oak Ridge. They have a pretty decent sized Blu Ray DVD update. First film is Bone Tomahawk, which is definitely one of my favorite films of the 2010s. It's basically a Western horror film. Kurt Russell was amazing in this one. You got the making of Bone Tomahawk, deleted scenes, image gallery, decent special features, nothing spectacular though. Some pretty hardcore cannibal scenes there towards the end. Great film, I love it. And then we have Juno, which is one of my favorite comedies of the mid-2000s. Made in 2006. This is one of the earlier Blu Ray releases where you get the digital copy disc. This is just a fantastic film. I love it. I think it's brilliant. Amazing film. We have Split, which is one that I pretty much avoided because of its PG-13 rating. And I was absolutely blown away with this one, guys. I just loved it. It's basically about a guy with multiple personality disorder. He kidnaps a few girls and keeps them hostage. Basically them dealing with each one of his personalities, which is quite alarming. Fantastic film. I love this. Okay, and then we have Eastern Promises, which is an upgrade from my DVD. Looks amazing on Blu-ray. One of Viggo Mortensen's best performances. Just think he got the Russian accent down pat. I mean, he nailed it. Love it. And you got some pretty violent scenes in here. It's not, definitely goes beyond the R rating. And we have Crank, which I was lucky enough to get with the slipcover. Got it brand new with the slip for $12.50. It's just an extremely exciting film. You know, the action never dies down. I think it's brilliant. Got Ricky Verona there. Plays a really, really good bad guy. Gotta love Chip Chelios. Great special features as well. That disc. We have The Sacrament, which is a film directed by Ty West, who's one of my favorite independent filmmakers. It's basically about the Jonestown Massacre, where all those people committed suicide or were forced to commit suicide back in the, I think it was the early 80s, late 70s. Some pretty nasty scenes in there. You know, towards the end when they have to drink the Kool-Aid, the ones that wouldn't voluntarily commit suicide were basically murdered. And you have a little girl that had her throat slit, an 8-year-old girl, which is extremely disturbing. One of the main girls sets herself on fire. Just very brutal scenes in this one. I love it though. We have Sling Blade, which was one of my all-time favorite films. Billy Bob Thornton. Thought this was definitely one of his best roles. Billy Bob actually directed this, wrote it, and acted in it. think he was amazing. You can see the special features there. Pause if you want to read that. Yeah, this is a film that just never gets old. I just think it's absolutely amazing. We have Now I Pronounce You Chuck and Larry. Just hilarious. I love it. Adam Sandler, Kevin James. Got the gorgeous Jessica Biel in there. I'm not a huge Adam Sandler fan, but this is definitely one of the films. Oh my God, look at Jessica Biel. She's fucking gorgeous. She's like shaking her ass during the whole movie. She's in her underwear like during half of the movie. But it's still a funny film, you know, regardless of her performance. I just, you know, really enjoyed this. I don't know, what did it get a PG-13 rating for? Sexual content, nudity. Yeah, there's a little bit of nudity in there. Great film, though. Then we have Unsane, which is basically about a woman and her stalker. And she basically gets committed into a psych ward. And I guess she signed a paper and they said that she voluntarily put herself in there. And the guy that's stalking her gets a job at the psych ward and is basically stalking her within the hospital. The guy is really creepy, the guy that plays the stalker. He's just got a very sinister look about him. I love this film, though. I would recommend this to everybody. This girl right here is basically like on her ass. This girl with the braids. I mean, they're all fucking nuts in the movie, but it's pretty disturbing, you know, even the thought. You know, that's what scares me, locking me up against my will. That's what would freak me out. We have Crank 2 High Voltage. Amy Smart, Jason Statham. It's more over the top than the original. Yeah, this film is completely just off the wall, fucking retarded, but I love it. Yeah, how many movies from the 80s were dumb as shit, but we just, you know, we cling on to these films, and this is definitely one of the movies that I enjoy. This is when they were doing the digital copy back in the day. You got a great supporting cast there. Great film. Okay. And we have Talladega Nights, The Ballad of Ricky Bobby. This is a film I could watch over and over. Never get sick of it. And this is definitely demo quality Blu Ray. This looks amazing on Blu Ray. Keep forgetting how long this film is. It's 122 minutes. Licky Bobby? Sacha Baron Cohen's in this. Just a great cast. Okay. And we have The Eye. So a lot of people talk shit about the American remakes of Japanese horror films, but I thought this film was very atmospheric, and I thought Jessica Alba did a good job. You know, it is PG-13, and you're not going to get a load of gore in this, but it's more psychological, obviously. And of course, Jessica Alba's easy on the eyes. You get the specs there. Deleted scenes, theatrical trailer. You get 4 featurettes. Birth of the Shadow Man. Decent film, not bad. I would recommend this for, you know, cheap price, $7-10. And then we have The Lookout, which is a very underrated film from 2007. Basically about a kid that gets into a car accident and kills 2 of his friends, accidentally fucking around like a college kid would, and he winds up getting some pretty significant brain damage from the accident. And then he works at this bank where he gets befriended by a group of guys that, you know, pretend to be his friend, and they're really in it to try to get in the bank that he works at. So he has to like write everything down because he forgets because of his brain injury. Great film though. Definitely recommend that. We have The Tall Man with Jessica Biel. This is a huge letdown, guys. I saw the trailer, I said I'll give it a shot, and just 20 minutes in I just shut it off. You know, the film didn't know what it wanted to be, if it was a thriller, if it was a horror. Just not a fan. You know, I'll probably keep it because of the slipcover, to be honest with you, but that's about it. I don't plan on watching this anytime soon. It's just not my thing. I've heard people say positive things about it. Maybe I'll give it another shot, but not anytime soon. Okay, then we have I Saw the Devil, which is one of my favorite Korean revenge films. This film is amazing. It looks incredible on Blu Ray. Can't recommend this one enough as well. Some very disturbing scenes in this one, guys. Yeah, this one also has cannibalism, rape, torture, sodomy. Not the feel-good movie of the year, if you know what I'm saying, but I love it. Okay, and I Saw the Devil. We have Inside Man. It's one of my favorite heist films of the mid-2000s. This is one of Spike Lee's better films. He's made some pretty horrible films lately. This is probably his last really good movie. Yeah, it's not your typical heist film. It's basically about a blackmail of a pretty significant banker, very rich banker in New York City, who made a deal with the Nazis back in the 50s or whatever it was. And that's basically, he's trying to hide all of his secrets in a safety deposit box. Excellent. And then we have Casino. Joe Pesci, Sharon Stone, Robert De Niro. Star-studded cast. Excellent acting. Phenomenal film. Like I said this before, I don't like this more than Goodfellas, but it's definitely on that level. You know, Robert De Niro and Joe Pesci, they really make a... they're always putting the same movies together because they just have chemistry. You know, they have tremendous chemistry, and I think, you know, they just work very well together. you know, like all of Scorsese's films, this one's about 2.5 hours, so you know, if you like your 80-minute movies, I would, it's probably not for you. Okay, and we have Final Destination, which I'm a huge fan of the original, but the sequels I'm just not crazy about. The sequel, the second one was okay, and then after that I just tuned out. It's basically about this kid's premonition. He gets a premonition before he boards the airplane that the plane is going to crash, and it does, and then the people that got off, that cheated death, that got off the plane, wind up dropping, you know, throughout the film. They have to guess who's next, and it's pretty creepy scenes. Very underrated film, though. You don't see too many people talk about this one. Okay. We have Bad Santa. This is hilarious. I love the sleazy comedy. I've yet to see the unrated cut. I've only seen the director's cut. Sure, there's not much difference. Rest in peace, John Ritter and Bernie Mac. Two great talents. Yeah, if you appreciate that sleazy type of comedy, you know, this is not a very politically correct film. That's your thing. I would definitely recommend this to you guys. Okay. We have Pineapple Express. This is a great stoner comedy. I don't like this as much as 40-Year-Old Virgin or, you know, those types of films, but it's definitely enjoyable for what it is. I'm a pretty big Seth Rogen fan. I like his type of humor. You got Rosie Perez in there, who plays the corrupt cop. Got this for cheap anyway. Okay, and then we have Goodfellas. I actually have the newer, excuse me, the newer transfer of this that came out a couple years ago, and that one's too dark. The picture quality is extremely dark, and I actually found the picture quality on this edition to be a lot better. It's a little bit grainier, obviously, but I don't know if they DNR'd the fuck out of the other one, but it just doesn't. It's just too dark, and like the people's faces look like clay. You know, this one you could actually see the detail on their faces, but especially the Billy Bat scene, you can't even see it. Like in the new edition, the new Blu Ray, you can't even see their faces. It's so dark. I don't know what happened there, but we have Rambo, 2008, one of the most violent movies ever made. Love it. This is one I had to replace because, of course, they put, my other copy was in an eco case. And the eco case, the art, like, got all fucked up because the case cracked. So I basically said, fuck, I might as well get another copy for, you know, $10 or whatever. Love this film. You got guys getting their throat ripped out. Great action. Definitely my favorite Rambo besides First Blood. And this just looks amazing on blue. You know, with the Amazon and just... gore looks incredible. Probably one of the most entertaining movies. I could watch this movie over and over and over. Love it. Okay, then we have The Brave One with Jodie Foster. This is basically a female version of Taxi Driver. It's not the best movie in the world. I wouldn't say it's like, oh my God, go out and get The Brave One. But it's a solid revenge flick. You know, and it looks great on Blu Ray, so it's, you know, definitely reason enough for me to pick it up. Great film. Not, you know, not anything spectacular, but I dug it. And then we have Idiocracy, which actually has a new edition. I'm shocked this doesn't have a Blu Ray release. I just can't believe that, man. Especially since it's pretty much coming true, you know. This whole story with Trump being elected president. You get a lot of people talking about it, saying that this movie is like prophecy, and it is. Love it, though. Okay, and then we have The Sweetest Thing, which is basically, it's a female version of The Hangover. And I love Christina Applegate. I actually think she's higher than Cameron Diaz. This is the unrated cut, which has all the jokes in it that weren't in the R-rated cut. You know, because it would have got an NC-17. It's got some extra nudity in there as well. Got the special features there. I just love this movie. It's not really a chick flick. It's more of, you know, like I said, a female version of The Hangover. And then we have The Dead Girl, which is a very depressing film. It basically follows like 6 people and their involvement in a murder of a 25-year-old girl played by Brittany Murphy. It's just a very depressing movie. You know, it's extremely realistic. It's even more upsetting that Brittany Murphy passed away. So sad. And we have All About the Benjamins, which is your typical heist film. You know, it's a pretty good comedy. You get some corny jokes here and there, but I enjoyed it for the most part. It's definitely a product of its time. 2002 it was made. Mike Epps, Ice Cube. Got all these special features as well. Mike Epps and Ice Cube, I think, are a good combo. I think they made like 3 or 4 movies during that time. Okay, last but not least, we have London, the gorgeous Jessica Biel, Joy Bryant, Jason Statham, Chris Evans. Of course, Jessica Biel is just a fucking knockout. Absolutely gorgeous. Basically about Chris Evans' character, him obsessing over his ex-chick and the downhill spiral he goes through with drugs and violence. You got Joy Bryant there. She's really hot. I love her. Yeah, Jessica Biel, look at her. I love Jessica Biel. This is definitely, out of these DVDs, this is definitely the one that needs the Blu Ray release the most. This and Idiocracy. I don't know, what did it get an R rating for? I'm trying to see here. Yeah, strong sexual content, drug use, some violence. Definitely recommend this one to you guys. If you see this, it's out of print, pick it up. It's, you know, it's worth 30, 40 bucks. Anyway, that's my update. Hope you enjoyed. Thank you for watching.